Parental discretion is advised.
This show is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us and IndieWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Just Pro Wrestling News Podcast. No filler, no pop-ups. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. It's the Monday Mayhem Warriors. I'm Mike Sorgat, Sorgatron on Twitter, in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In the week that professional wrestling has changed, we never thought the day would come without a funeral, probably following it up briefly. But we got we called an all hands meeting of Wrestling Mayhem Show, of the crew, of the Patreons. Everybody is here. A lot of people are here. And we left an open link, so some other people may drop in. Who knows? Who knows? If you're on Patreon, you got a message and as well to be a part of the show. But with us, first of all, he is back from Hawaii by way of Beacon, New York, the only Mayhemmer with a future endeavor letter from WWE. He's Mad Mike.
Hey, Sorg.
Hey.
And this is how I'm going to greet everyone now. It's something I learned while at the Polynesian Cultural Center in Hawaii. So I apologize for any of you using headphones. I apologize for any of you using speakers. But choo!
That was a wonderful.
I won't do that every week. I had to do it once.
Yes. Yes. Oh, good. He's back and he is.
Yeah. What happened while I was gone?
Gee.
I will say this. This is the first time I've gone 2 weeks without watching Raw. Mm-hmm. Something seemed different. I couldn't put my sledgehammer on it. I don't know what it is.
We'll get to that in a moment. Also with us, he is a writer over at WrestlingInc.com, and I believe he was live tweeting tonight, if I'm not mistaken, Monday Night Raw. Matt Carlins.
You're close, Sorg. I was live doing live website coverage at WrestlingInc.com. Keyboard clattering. I think the final count was 4,500 words in 3 hours. Nice. Typing out all the morbid details of tonight's Raw. Sorg, let me not go any further without mentioning to you very quickly. I believe today is the 5-year anniversary of the very first podcast from where you are sitting. What used to be the brand new Sorgatron Media Studios, but is now the good old Sorgatron Media Studios.
And I suck at anniversaries. So really, today? Is that when we moved the couch?
It came up in my Facebook mentions.
Oh, there we go. Well, yeah. If I get time, I'm waiting to find out if I get booked in some of these weekends in August. We might have a party. I don't know. I need to get a party planning committee together. So, anyways, who else is with us? Also, from Riz Plays Games and my master Twitch producer this weekend from MV's Barbecue, Backyard Barbecue / Freak Rainstorm. The Riz is with us.
So much, and I'm sorry for people who thought they were talking to MV Young. I just didn't have the chance to use my handle.
Yes.
Because it was crazy.
Oh,
so
no, they thought you were MV Young in the chat.
Either that or Renee, one of the two.
Okay, all right. Brooke, I think is their name.
Brooke.
Yes.
Brooke, sorry.
And he had to let me know. I didn't realize we had like Chikara Royalty like working on production with us at the time too. Until like after, I'm just like, who is this random guy with Mark Mann?
Yep. That was Diamond Dog Diamond Fire.
There you go. It was a fun show, despite the having to. Air out they still have some damp equipment airing out in the middle of the floor, actually, just to be safe. Give it an extra time to the most expensive of it.
I had to go back and get. You can't actually see it because it's blurred out. I had to go back and get this.
Oh, we left that behind?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I was asking before. I was like, hey, do you have this?
Oh, no. I remember I kept putting it aside. Anyways, we also invited the Patreons on today. First of all, we have representing the iPhoneography podcast, Prof Pod on the Twitter. Dave Podner is with us.
Always have fun to be on. Thanks for having me on.
You're outside enjoying the weather.
I am outside. Yep.
Yes.
And my hand is here since it's all hands on deck.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Everybody show their hands. for
And
solidarity.
hands up, hands up, hands up. Yes, there you go.
All hands.
And also back with us. It's been so long from a undisclosed location somewhere in Wisconsin in a hotel room. Is do I have to say that? Do I have to do it? Okay, Bo Diggity! Woo!
Thank you. I love that it's still going. I love that it's not stopped, and then we will never stop doing that.
No, you're
Because that's
you're like the
correct thing to
longest Patreon.
That is true.
person.
I am Patreon #1.
Yes.
And it's funny, still, no one takes advantage of the fact that we will call you anything you want
We do call
during the Patreon
we do
roll
call
call.
Tina the mother of dragons though.
That's true.
And then we call Bradley whatever we want to call him that week. So
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
there's that too.
Yeah.
Budhausen is a favorite.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, it has been Bo fucking Diggity, Bo F Diggity. The F is for phenomenal. Don't look it up. But yeah, it's always been that way. So, by the way, if you're showing your hands, you have to point here. I believe
for
that
Michigan?
that is how this works for
Did
Michigan.
Well, no,
What was
it's
it,
like,
Detroit
state?
right
I don't know.
Funny enough,
Yeah.
watch this. Watch this. Ready? Ready? Boom! It's Wisconsin.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
whoa!
Whoa!
Do that.
And then you
that's
got
a magic trick.
and then you got
Green Bay.
then you got Pennsylvania
Boom.
this way,
Detroit.
right? Here you go.
Yeah.
And you got Pennsylvania this way.
There you go.
And then
I-
you've got West Virginia.
I've been.
Exactly.
Silver City.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then you have New York.
Well, let me see that again, Mike. Say something.
New York.
And it's
Why can't I see you?
It's not popping over.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There
Oh,
we
that is
go.
New
New
York. That's
York,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
hey, podcasting is a visual medium. We know.
Mhm.
Yes.
So-
Hey, absolutely. Just if you're wondering what hand gesture I made for New York, just go to
It's
New
the-
York. You'll
The
figure it
most,
out.
number
the
one.
most New
You don't
York.
even need to go. It's the one you're thinking of.
It's the one
Yeah.
you're thinking for New York, anyways. So I think Tina says she might be changing that if the XFL doesn't keep the name. Yeah, they just announced. So we're here for the big news, the XFL team announcements. Heinz
That's
Ward is
right.
going to
Yeah,
San
and all
Antonio.
the Marvel news. There's nothing
That's
else
right.
happening in wrestling.
Nothing
right,
else
guys?
happening in
No.
wrestling.
No.
We're going to talk about Phase 5 Marvel. We're going to talk
We're gonna
about.
talk about.
We're going to
the,
talk about Phase 6 Marvel.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Talk
I mean,
about
it was-
Phase 2 WWE. is
Yeah,
what we're gonna be talking about.
Matt, you're trying to tell us this real news? What the hell happened, real
Actual
news guy?
News, Matt Carlins.
I'm trying to figure out a way to sum this up as quickly and simply as possible. Vince McMahon's in some shit. All right.
I thought you were just going to say you're
Undeniably.
fired.
You know how we always used to like make jokes about, what would it take for Vince to give up his job as the head of creative in WWE, the thing he loves the most. And, we really don't know exactly what it would take for him to give up that job, but we know that it happened.
No, we know deeply what.
I'm
no,
pretty sure we know
exactly-
exactly what it was.
I mean, we have
Yeah,
a
we know
sense
exactly
of
what it
what
would
it
take.
is, but we don't know exactly. There's still some that
No, it's-
need to drop on this one. But let's just put it this way. This hush money investigation that's been going on, and all the stuff that's been pouring out just keeps piling up higher and higher. The latest I think tonight is that the SEC is investigating, reportedly, by the Wall Street Journal. The federal prosecutors are now investigating. Oh, man, that gets a little, that's collar-tugging time for sure if you're sitting up there at Titan Towers.
So
Vince
here's-
McMahon Vince McMahon resigned. He did not retire. That was clarified earlier today. There's about $14.5 million of company funds that apparently they want back from Vince.
Oh.
And this is all tied into these hush money allegations, and gets deeper and dirtier than that, believe it or not. And we're far from done. Go ahead, Bo Diggity.
Well, Kevin Dunn's not there anymore either.
Yeah, he's not.
Oh, wait. Kevin Dunn's not there?
He's probably gone now.
He's probably
there is
confirmed.
There is a rumor that he is gone.
Oh, okay.
Right.
If he's gone, it's not official yet.
Okay.
Okay.
No hearsay on this show, guys. We're not one of those
No,
shitty dirt
absolutely
sheets. Go ahead, Bo Diggy.
No, we're one of those good dirt sheets that's the organic dirt from free-range soils. So
like what Matt works for.
14 and a half. Yes. So that $14.5 million is kind of important because it's not listed in any of their financial statements for the last 5 years, which means you are now into fucking up financial statements. That's big time jail time. That is big time company problems. That is stock dumping time. There is big problems for WWE, the company, because of what Vince McMahon was doing. And because of this, listen, companies pay hush money all the time, but they do have to account for it. And $14.5 million isn't a small amount of money to not account for. And that changes expenses, that changes profit margins, that changes all sorts of stuff. So I feel really bad for the WWE accounting teams who are going to have to go back through, audit all of this stuff, and redo all of the financial statements that they've had to make for the last 5 years. Prayers up, send pizzas, because it's going to be long and painful for them. And that's really what this is. It's not so much like Vince paid $14.5 million in hush money. Like, listen, it's gross, and he's a terrible human being, and did this. But the business aspect of this is what got him out. It was not paying the hush payments. It was not him cheating on Linda or having sex with subordinates. It was the hush money and messing up the financial statements that got Vince out of the paint here. So we don't even need to know the actual stories of what happened. We don't. It does not matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all, because it's like you said, Bo Diggity, it's the Al Capone theory, where he's doing some weird shit. He's doing some bad stuff. But they got him on the money. They got him where it hurts. And that's where it's like the stuff that he has done since the 80s. Like the 80s, early 90s with the who knows what he had done before, but the stuff that we know about, the one he's been in trouble for, like the steroid trials, the Owen Hart situation, the Chris Benoit situation, it piles up. And this is what got him. Like,
yeah, you didn't get out. You don't get Al Capone for murder. You get Al Capone for tax evasion.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing that's happened here. So Vince is now gone. So guess what, Smarks? You now have to find something new to complain about. You can't blame Vince for all your problems. You can't blame for your problems, apparently.
I think the hotel Wi-Fi is catching up with them.
So there we go. I have an unstable connection.
Yeah.
Much like Vince McMahon to reality. So you missed these. You know you did.
Hotel Wi-Fi. Hotel Wi-Fi.
That's right. So, Hunter's now in charge of creative. Go ahead, Dave.
I would say, people will still complain about Vince, by the way. You know that. People will still say, if there's a shitty segment, they'll say, well, Vince is really talking to Stephanie, and that's why this happened this way.
No. What's going to happen is, if there's a shitty segment, there's no way this would have aired if Vince was there.
True.
It's going to be the reverse.
It's the new scapegoat.
We're gonna hit a massive horseshoe here in a second, where it loops all the way around to Vince would have done better. Meanwhile, you sweaty dorks on the internet were complaining about this for the last 20 years, and finally are getting around to saying, "Oh, maybe he didn't have such bad ideas. Maybe Mae Young did birth a
Well, yeah, just to get out in front of that whole argument, just remember that every good and fun thing you remember from WWE's past, your entire lifetime, eventually went across Vince's desk, and he either approved it or it was his idea in the first place. Be that as it may, this has so little to do with Vince McMahon, the creative business person, and so much more to do with the person itself. And we're not even close to being done with this. There's still an ongoing investigation led by the independent members of the board of directors that is still has to play out. Now we know that the feds are looking into this. The media is still digging. There's rumors that there's going to be another Wall Street Journal article. The buzz over HBO Real Sports turning something within the next few weeks is just, people are going crazy about this.
Wait, really? HBO might be digging in?
HBO Real Sports is apparently looking into this.
Wow.
Is working on something, which is supposedly their next episode isn't for at least another few weeks.
Wow.
But the buzz for this is already out there. So I guess people have been talking to people.
Has anyone seen the Real Sports interview that Vince did with Bob Costas years ago?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I think I did back
Oh
then, yeah.
boy.
They're gonna love this.
Yep.
That was the original that was the original steroids interview, right?
I think it was later.
No, it was
much later.
It was more about like the Benoit stuff, I think.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Was it Benoit or was that one when Owen died?
I think
No,
Mike is right. I think it was definitely post Benoit stuff.
Post-
Yeah, I'm
Benoit?
pretty sure. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it was around then because
I
that's
could've
when you were
sworn
getting a lot of like news
Oh,
stories
you're right. That was
about,
on
like,
Dark Side.
about like all the wrestlers dying from like,
Yeah.
heart attacks
Jeez.
and steroid overdoses and stuff like that.
But before we go on,
I also saw
go
that
ahead.
John Oliver retweeted their bit.
Oh!
on WWE.
Well, I wanted to screen grab it because I was watching John Oliver. He came back after the month break, and the last thing before the end of it is a picture of Vince McMahon in the intro now, and it's like oh my god, I can't remember the name. I wanted to grab it, but I couldn't screen cap it on my phone. I didn't have my phone to take a picture because I was watching it on my phone. But yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a feature on that.
I
show
I
in,
have
like
a
a week or so.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be. I think it was too fresh for them to get into it because they record on Saturdays, I think, and this all dropped Friday. But I could see them touching base on it when he's not
Honestly,
trying
John
to
Oliver,
buy. When he's not
John
trying
Oliver
to buy
likes
more.
wrestling, too.
Yeah, he loves wrestling. When he's not trying
Like-
to buy giant leg spread frogs like he was this week, I understand priorities. But anyway,
yes, of course,
go ahead.
of course.
Good.
But yeah, like the John Oliver piece on WWE is probably as balanced as you're gonna get because John Oliver definitely has a love for wrestling and will randomly insert shots of wrestling and say pro wrestling is better than anything you watch.
Oh yeah.
But still, at the same time, be very candid about what happens a lot behind the scenes.
He took him to task for for background for anybody that didn't see it. He took him to task for labor practices and for the Saudi Arabia shows. And I don't know if that was the same piece or two separate ones. I feel like it was a collective dig on WWE as a company dealing with that, X and Y at the time. But yeah, they dropped that in there. They got to be working on something. So
I mean, I think there's a side of this around the labor practices. I'd be very interested to see if that changes given what AEW did when they started with we are hiring people as employees, giving them health insurance, et cetera, versus WWE's whole thing of you're all independent contractors, but you can't work anywhere else, which is if somebody really wanted to, you could totally take the WWE to court and say that as an independent contractor, I should be allowed to work anywhere I want to.
Some have,
and
well, I guess some have after the fact. I think, right?
Yeah, but they do it after WWE.
Yeah.
Now, I could totally see WWE saying, "Hey, we're going to take up as much of your time as possible." Like, if you're on the house show circuit, you're doing 4 or 5 shows a week.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of time to do anything else.
No.
But these sorts of things, I'm interested to see if there's a couple of things I'm interested to see. One is the obvious: what does the product look like without Vince's influence, with Hunter's influence, and given what we've seen, like Golden Age NXT was Hunter, not Vince.
Yep.
And so all of the stuff that we loved about NXT and the storytelling and that sort of stuff is all the stuff that I think a lot of people really like about Hunter as being head of creative. I'm interested to see, does the WWE make changes to their labor practices? Do they make changes to the independent contractor status. They make changes to these sorts of things because they are able to not have to deal with Vince's ideas from 1975 and how he wants to operate a company in the way, right? How much time are they spending on writing all these literal independent contracts and negotiating all the individual pieces that are inside of that versus just saying like, hey, you're an employee and here's the standard like amount of time off that you can take per year, and this is the benefits, this is the medical benefits package. Like effectively, I'm trying to name like Montez Ford and Mike can have the same sort of package. I'm just going to say Montez Ford's probably getting a better health insurance package. Mike, you don't fall down for your job. But these sorts of things, how does that actually play out, and does that make a change because Vince isn't there? I'm interested to see that part of it, because the product is going to be generally the same, right? They have to. They have Hunter is going to do Vince-like things. Like that doesn't change. You don't magically get better tag team wrestling because because Hunter's in charge. But you still have the tag teams that they have.
And you do have like your co-CEOs are Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon right now, right? And I don't know if that is a long tail thing or just a in between kind of thing before they do whatever.
That is a temporary thing until Stephanie takes the whole thing.
Probably. But how much is going to be? Are they like I mean, they have, or at least Stephanie has lived with Vince in this business capacity. How much of those is she going to subscribe to already, be indoctrinated with, versus but you don't know how much of it is like, this is the way it's always been and that's okay. It's worked for us so far. We're a multi-billion-dollar company that's doing very, very well, except for these new findings. Versus versus man, last 20 years, I wish I could change X, Y, and Z, and now we can do it, right? So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think it would be tied to does Stephanie take the full CEO position? Which,
yes.
By the way, reminder, she's still she's still a large shareholder.
Yes.
So is Hunter.
Yes.
So is Linda. Like the McMahon family, not just Vince, the McMahon family still owns a majority of WWE.
Yes.
So in this sort of space, does Stephanie become CEO and keep it going as it was before the way Vince ran it? And does it flip to Nick Khan, and Nick is like, hey, these are the changes I want to make because I think these are going to be the best for the business.
Exactly.
That is another thing to watch.
I think
there's also, if I could just interject, there's also, Bo Diggity, option 3, which is that WWE is for sale if the right bidder comes along. And that's one of the great benefits of having Nick Khan around there, too.
Does
Stephanie really want to be co-CEO of WWE? She had stepped away from the company less than a month ago, if that, because she wanted to spend more time with her family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure she is enthusiastic about taking the reins and trying to save the company in the wake of what's going on with her father. But Nick Khan is a deal maker. That is what he's here to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been asked if WWE is for sale, and his response is typically, if someone's going to call us, we're going to pick up the phone. He's not going to, ignore every offer that comes in. If they get the right offer, they could be sold. So that's the third option.
Yes.
I think the challenge there, though, is the market cap of WWE is currently $5.3 billion. Who's got 5 plus? Because you don't buy them for the market cap, you buy them.
Thank you. Absolutely I'm not the only one.
Yep.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think with all the stuff going around that Disney wants anything to do with it.
I think this investigation needs to come to a conclusion before any deal goes down, because just part of buying a giant corporation, that process is vetting and making sure you know all the skeletons in the closet.
And it's also going into anti-monopoly laws and stuff like that too.
Right.
Like because that's another thing that Disney is also kind of skirting the line with as being a monopoly conglomerate.
I honestly think you're better options for buying. Disney's always been my that makes sense with their IP-ness, but I honestly think Comcast Universal is a better chance of obtaining it. Honestly,
Comcast ain't gonna drop. Why would Comcast drop $5 billion to buy the company when they can pay however much they pay in the media rights for USA and Peacock?
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
I don't think they want to run it. They just
didn't
want
they
the rights.
didn't they drop $5 billion for 5 years of WWE?
No,
Well, how much was it?
Much.
How much was it? It was
look.
like $1 billion, maybe.
Well, it wasn't on Peacock.
It is-
$5 billion over 5 years was for Raw.
For
That
Raw.
was for Raw.
That's for one show.
Yeah.
So they're already sinking that much money in. Why not just own it?
They
now I
spent
would do a comparison though, because I think when you think about these kinds of aspects, think about what Microsoft's currently going through. I haven't heard much lately about it, but remember, Microsoft was looking to purchase Activision Blizzard, which has been under fire for a lot of the management and misogyny and backward plays, especially with female talent and that. There, I think if you need a comparison point for something like this, now to our awareness, Blizzard Activision doesn't have a $14 million hole in their budget, but that we're aware of.
It was as big as.
Yeah, Sorg, it was just a $1 billion.
$1 billion over 5 years. That's still, we're talking about like a 5-point-something billion market cap.
Yeah, but you're not adding in cost of labor and
no. Yeah, true.
Like that's a lot. That's a lot more than $5 billion. $5 billion just gets you the actual company.
Yeah.
It doesn't get you all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, if you're buying it, that's $200 million a year that they're paying for the media rights. You would have to buy the company and expect to make your money back over the next 25 years at $200 million a year. And that's the run rate that you're paying for the media rights. Now, obviously, there's merch sales, but as Mike points out, there's big deals and all that sort of stuff. And it adds in a ton of things that I don't think NBC wants.
And plus a lot of the big, like money makers were pay-per-views.
Yes.
Guess what? With Peacock, that's not a thing now.
No, it's a loss leader for them now, right? And it gets them what they think is most important is people on Peacock. So that makes money in a different area than the pay-per-views.
So I don't think they want the company.
No, but
and also they don't get anything more.
Does Comcast run an events business of any sorts? Because that's what this is. This is a traveling roadshow on top of TV.
Remember though, it's NBC Universal though.
Yes.
With Comcast, so you have the whole. It's not traveling, but do they still own the whole Universal Studios?
That's true.
Yeah, but that's not an event.
That's like
that's not an event.
I mean, WWE
is run by a separate division, and that
WWE is more of.
Well, they could keep it separate. They could bring it underneath and run it like YouTube is.
You know what?
Separately.
Actually, it's not too crazy because I remember Spencer's Gifts and Spirit Halloween are Universal companies, or at least they were. I don't know if they still are. When I worked for them, they were. So technically, at one point, I should now disclose this, is I was an employee of Comcast Universal, whatever they were that year. Anyways, but I don't know. Yeah, at least Universal. But anyways, so I want to read this quote before we move on because I think this is kind of Matt. You shared this article from postwrestling.com. And I love this quote that was in here from Vince McMahon to Playboy magazine in 2001. When it's time for me to go. Wait, should I do the impression? No.
Pal.
When it's time for me to go, pal. I'd like to be devoured by the biggest, baddest carnivore that ever walked on the face of the earth, and then I'd like that son of a bitch to get indigestion and vomit my remains back up. And now we know that Carnivore is the Wall Street Journal and the SEC.
He didn't want to quit.
No.
Something forced him to.
Yeah.
And now we know.
You tapped out. You tapped out. You tapped out.
He did. He quit. He quit because it got too hot. And just quickly to circle back to something else that Bo Diggity was talking about. Part of the parameters of this investigation being led by the board of directors is not just the money being paid out by Vince and his various improprieties, as awful as those are, but it's also company culture, which does kind of get into, kind of everything as a whole, but, mostly kind of the awful things you can imagine, boys club kind of nonsense that, we've kind of all had a sense of for a long time, but, now we and the company itself and hopefully the rest of the world has to confront it and kind of figure out, what are we going to do with this thing, and how does this company move forward? How can it wash its hands of Vince McMahon when he's so interwoven with everything involved in it and virtually everyone, still within power in the company? How can you look at the general public and be like, yeah, this guy who did all this terrible stuff and could potentially now be under federal investigation, possibly convicted, maybe go to jail, who knows? It seems crazy that we've gotten to this point. How can you convince the general public that, the higher ups in your company are divided from him now, and that there's a clean break when you know that there absolutely is not? They must talk, right?
I mean, there's an easy way. You just have someone ambush him backstage, put him in a shipping crate that says "sent to FCW."
That's right. You know what? He just needs to take a walk through that dreaded NXT parking lot.
No, you need to what you need to do is you need to take Vince and you put him in front of the mirror.
Oh,
mirror.
The Oculus mirror of death.
What?
It reveals his. Sorg, you don't remember the Oculus mirror in NXT?
How do you not remember the Oculus mirror of heel turns in NXT?
I don't.
I thought
Where do you think Sasha Banks, the boss, came from?
Yeah.
I thought you were referring to the NWO mirror, so I do apologize.
Yeah, I thought that's where we're going too.
Yeah.
Well, that's when he comes back.
Oculus.
That's a different mirror,
That's true.
and that'll be a lethal dose of poison.
And that's where he
want
found out he buys
Vince
AEW.
That would be that's a swerve too far. The Bucks sold out to Vince, and they go super money cannons. I do think that there is this is definitely an inflection point, and the show will still go on. The show will never ever talk about this.
No.
They will not.
It shouldn't.
They will not discuss it.
There's no reason to.
Now, I think that if they wanted to show that they were trying to make a clean break, that they lean into Nick Khan as the CEO. Hunter's in charge of creative. Stephanie's title before that, she was in charge of talent relations, I think.
The brand officer.
Brand officer. You keep Stephanie as brand officer, and you show that the leadership of the company is not a progeny of Vince, or not in the McMahon family.
But Nick Khan is in that ladder, though.
Absolutely.
But
he is not a progeny of the McMahon family. You can show the clean break.
Yeah. Nick Khan's a recent guy, right?
Yep.
And
he's recent. He only joined the company a few years ago.
And he's not a matter of, keep them the hell off TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I want an executive who does executive things, who does not have to be on TV. Or be alluded to on TV.
I don't think.
Please.
Yeah. He's come from a different. I mean, every executive, quote unquote, that we've seen has been like somebody who was in the wrestling business. You know what I mean? So like they
Even
can't.
Dixie Carter.
They can't stay. Well, I'm talking about WWE. Like we can't stay.
Okay, well, I meant all of wrestling.
Okay, let's just
has
talk.
There ever been a
let's just talk.
Let's
just talk WWE. Let's just talk.
By the way,
yeah.
I think this needs to be said. We're over 20 years since the invasion, and the only ones actively involved in wrestling is Paul Heyman. ECW wins.
They always do.
I mean, Paul Heyman wins. Let's be
Paul Heyman wins.
Paul
Heyman is the absolute in pro wrestling.
You know what? Paul Heyman wins, but does he win as much as Jeff Jarrett? Now, Jeff Jarrett wins.
No.
That's a side quest right there on the conversation.
Jeff Jarrett fails upward. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Jeff Jarrett fails upward. It wasn't that long ago. He was trying to sell his gold for cash. All right,
Mm-hmm.
And look where he is now.
Paul Heyman worked for Vince Sr., Vince Jr., and now
For Stephanie.
post Vince,
Yeah.
Paul still works.
Yes.
Like
Paul Heyman
one
is the inevitable.
absolute.
Paul Heyman is inevitable.
Hey, by the way, I want to double check.
Got hired.
I want to double check. Is this the Oculus mirror we were talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Oh. Okay. I
Where
actually.
where Leo Kruger looks in the mirror and turns and becomes Adam Rose. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that also where Sami Zayn turned heel when he was like, "No, I gotta stop being nice and I gotta go after the title."
The Oculus mirror reveals all.
I have no
All
memory
hail
of this thing. I'm
Oculus,
gonna have
man.
to go back and look into this.
I remember
feels-
that.
This feels very
that
Mandela.
image, I remember that image of Adam Rose staring into that mirror. I don't know what it's for or what it's from. I think that's when Adam Rose actually turned heel.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's a heel turn.
But
It's actually from Raw, according to the tag in corner. So,
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
then this is definitely when he turned heel because nobody liked him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because they're promoting the movie Oculus because it's a WWE film.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, with Karen Gillan.
Oh, wow.
And then they just kept the mirror around and used it as a way to bring out evil in the hearts of men and women.
Oh, wow.
Do you think Vince has that mirror in his office?
Looks in it every day. What do you?
Like
How else are you supposed to?
I think he
yourself?
shattered it and snorts it every day.
Yeah, yeah.
it's like
something.
it was right next to his giant dinosaur T-Rex head that he has.
Yep. The fact that Vince has a T-Rex head in his office is such a move, though.
Do you think?
Like, I kind of want to get a T-Rex skull for my office. I don't know where I would get one.
Do you
I mean,
think-
the museum has many of them.
Do you think that he's keeping the T-Rex and taking it home? Like that's him with the box of his things and a T-Rex
Yeah,
head
you
under
gotta
his
like
arm.
box it up. Yeah, carry it out.
But he's trying to
Act
carry
like,
out his big ass head.
Do we have any artists in the crowd that can give me a comic of that visual? By the way,
Hold on. I'm going to DM Jesse right now.
Oh, of course, yes.
Artist in chat draws Vince McMahon carrying out his box of things that includes the giant dinosaur head.
I'm gonna get a
And
DM
that crazy
tomorrow.
wall, you got to take that crazy wall with them, right?
That reminds me, I have some stickers I need to buy.
Well, that's the other thing about this investigation too was it Vince only,
Mm-hmm.
or how widespread?
Well, yeah,
is it? I mean,
Laurinaitis has already been thrown under the bus for this a little bit, but
And
we'll see.
And Sorg, the request to Jesse is out there.
Oh, thank you.
but
by
I'm
the way,
also
did-
listen.
I'm
Did
thinking
you see?
Linda?
Oh God.
But
Well-
no, just because, they may have completely separate lives. They're married, but they live completely separate
Yeah,
lives.
they're
but
separated.
At one point,
Yeah, they're like officially separated and have been for a couple years
Okay.
now.
Okay.
That was one of the
But-
first things that came
but-
out along with this, the first report out.
but I mean, at one point, because this has happened. This is years and years. This is
Mhm.
more than just the last couple.
Oh yeah,
At what point does she say, when they do taxes or whatever, but I'm just saying, legitimately, our value went down $5 million this year. What happened?
Mhm.
And at point did she know? What did she know about it?
Let
And we
me-
all know that Linda's current boss really doesn't care about bending, breaking, ignoring the law. We know that.
What's Linda's current boss? She's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What's she doing?
She doesn't. No, she doesn't have a current boss.
Yeah,
I
she's.
thought she worked for a certain person's.
Hall of Famer.
Who does not have a job anymore?
Yeah.
Well,
That's,
no, he doesn't have a job, but he still has people who work for him for fundraising.
No,
and other
working for
things
him.
around.
Working for him imply they get paid.
Yeah.
yeah, he's not gonna. Pay
Well,
anybody.
true, yeah.
He hasn't paid anybody in years.
That is true.
Hold on.
All right, not to get into that, but
All right,
Yeah,
let's
let's
let's,
not-
let's,
Right.
all right,
Let's talk
guys,
about
guys.
let's
I
wrestle.
had this.
Hold on.
I did
Let's talk about Raw for a
vision
second.
in
Yeah, I
my
was gonna
head
say.
of, like Vince and Linda around their dining room table with all their W-2s spread out all over the place, going through their, they're going through. Dave, let me answer your question with a question. When you and your lady You take your you feel like, I'm gonna hit the sheets. I'm gonna go a little wild tonight. I'm gonna grab a couple bags of gummy bears or something like that. She snatched $5 from her purse. Hypothetically, I would never do this, but you take the $5, you run down to the sheets, get yourself a little treat, come home the next night, and then you wait and see if she notices, and she doesn't notice. There you go. It's just on a larger scale. That's all.
Just the.
Not that would
Well,
happen.
wait. Let me just say this. Wait a minute. Let me just say this. I'm glad. First of all, I wouldn't do that. We have a joint checking account. She would know this. And so I would never do that, especially if Ruth is watching after the fact. I would never do that. You know that.
Hi.
She knows how. She also knows how damn cheap I am, and I don't like spending money. Period.
Mm-hmm. So,
and that's why I'm poor.
Real quick, just a little clarification on that. She did resign from the small business, small business administration, in 2019 to work on his re-election campaign. And was named chairwoman of the America First Action, which is a pro-Trump super PAC. And there's no note afterwards. She could be still a part of that and working with it. Because
she, according to Wikipedia, she is still there. And according to the controversy section around this organization, just as trash as you'd expect. Great job, Linda.
Wait, is that under the super PAC itself? Or,
yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I'm just in general super PACs.
The super PAC itself is raising money to elect people in the Trumposphere, and does the things you would expect it to do. Great job, Linda. You keep on keeping on. You big, dumb, stupid supernova of a star. If you explode soon.
Okay, but anyways, what has changed?
Wrestling!
Has anything changed? Who knows? Hold on, let me fix this real quick. But you know who's going to notice the change? Somebody that wrote over 4,000 words about tonight's Monday Night Raw, one Matt Carlins.
Yes, let's go through tonight's Raw and let's see if we can spot. Did Uncle Paul make a difference? That'll be tonight's game.
Can I say I had it on in the backwards in the background while I was doing other things, and I was kind of tuning more and more into it. Felt more significant and good wrestling than usual. That's my first impression.
I will say in general, the first half of the show, I was feeling like I could kind of feel a little bit of change here. By the time we were into the second half of the show, I was like, this is the same old trash. Nothing has changed.
Well, because sorry, so
no.
Yeah, the first half of the show felt very kinetic. And then once you hit Ray's speech, everything kind of slowed down to a crawl a little bit.
Go ahead.
And then, afterwards it was like, okay, we have to do this for SummerSlam. But the first half of the show is probably more of a preview of what you're going to be seeing stuff like next week. I don't have a giant pay-per-view to promote.
Listen, I was not expecting like the Russo Bischoff reboot episode of Nitro. For any of you who remembers that one.
No.
All right, I want it to come in small increments. I do not want a giant, huge asteroid of creative to crash into Raw and for just everything to go.
Paul's in charge of 5 hours of television.
Be gradual.
Yeah.
I would like to sit here in 6 months and be like, you know what? This 3-hour slog ain't too bad anymore, So we'll see how that goes. Okay, anyway.
I picture it as they're trying to get a lot of these angles for SummerSlam completed at SummerSlam. And you saw the little points of, okay, when this happens, next week, this is going to happen. Like you can see something bubble. You can see more bubbling in the segments. You can see more angles form, like the AJ and Dolph Ziggler in the Alpha Academy match. That was a really good match. I want to see where it goes, and we're going to have to see from where it goes next week, because I don't know why they decided to put a random tag match there, and not have Theory try something and then obviously fail. But
I mean, I feel the same way you do, Riz. I feel like if this show needed anything, it needed more theory, especially in that third hour. I mean, there were at least 3 or 4 opportunities for him to do a run-in because
I never
God
said
knows
any of that.
this man is feuding with half of the company right now, so it would have only made sense for him to come back out again. Let's, I'm going to try to whiz through this thing, and we will play Did Uncle Paul Help, or whatever I said, what game we were going to play. So, all right, so I can isolate a couple moments where I felt like I really sensed that maybe Uncle Paul already has his fingers on something. And I thought the top of the show where they just crashed right into a brawl in the ring between Logan Paul and The Miz, I'm like, that is Hunter.
That's vintage NXT.
Like, that is an NXT move. You know, I can't tell you like where I can't like pluck something from my memory banks to tell you, oh, I totally remember when they did something like this on
Undisputed Era.
What it
Did
felt
all
like
the time.
that kind of like energy was just like, we're just gonna do something at the top of the show and we're gonna, you know, grab everyone's attention. So yeah, so basically the show starts, Logan Paul and The Miz are fighting each other, they're rolling around, they're brawling. They said, you know, Logan Paul was in the ring a minute ago and The Miz came out and they started fighting. So this was a nice little start to the show. I was kind of kind of excited to see, you know, instant action at the top of the show. And then we go, after they do a little replay, they immediately hustle these losers out of the way so that the Bloodline can make their entrance, get the big dog to the table, or get the head of the table to the table. And Roman does not feel like talking tonight. So Paul Heyman tries. Paul Heyman's microphone malfunctions on him. I think it was a shoot malfunction. They get him a new microphone, and Paul Heyman promptly insults the people of New Jersey. And then says to whoever this audio person was that he could be the next guy to go, or something along those lines. And then we get into the really juicy stuff where, well, first Paul has to talk for a while about Roman and Brock. Then Theory comes in, and he decides he's going to interject himself into this segment. Roman Reigns gets the mic, invites Theory to get himself into the ring, and then informs Theory that, quote, your daddy's not here anymore, end quote. The crowd gasps.
And then chants, who's your daddy?
The Usos laugh. The crowd chants Daddy's Boy. Then they realize who's your daddy is even funnier. So they go with that one. And Reigns tells Theory that if he keeps messing around with him, the tribal chief is going to be his daddy. And then he says, I run the garden now. And then he leaves. So, what do you think?
Good segment.
Here's a question. I enjoyed this segment. I enjoyed everything about this first segment of the show. Too soon?
No. You know why?
Go on.
Max Caster already has a line written out.
Don't let him get all the heat. Yeah.
Rampage wasn't live on Friday, right?
No.
That's a missed opportunity because they had a specific rap battle against someone who was in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's a missed opportunity.
I would also, no, not too soon, because you know good and well Vince would have done that shit to literally anybody else.
And by the way,
no.
We have to make a poll over under how many Vince references there will be on Dynamite and Rampage. I'm going to set the over-under at 5.
Well, if Raw's going to set the bar, like in this first segment, I think we had like 4 or 5 in this segment alone here. So I think they're well on their way. We'll see if Dynamite can top it. Yeah, take the over for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Tony already went on Twitter.
Oh, that
within minutes.
Tony's just, yeah. Anyways.
He's not even the longest reigning CEO. That would be whoever runs Impact.
He clarified or something, right? Didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Didn't he go back and clarify something about that?
He didn't clarify.
I didn't see.
Shit.
Okay, I didn't see.
Big Swole.
I didn't see.
He hasn't done shit.
I didn't see what he clarified. I just saw a headline, probably on Wrestling Inc. So.
All right, time out. I gotta pause the Raw report.
Yep.
I gotta pause the Raw report. Name the CEO of Impact. Don't Google.
Oh, I don't know it. I just know that they've been there longer than AEW.
It's whoever's Anthem Sports CEO, probably.
Yeah, Anthem. Whoever runs Anthem.
I'm out because I googled it right before you told me to.
I'm sure it was like that is on like a top tier company or something like that. I mean, obviously, Tony did not research this comment. Come on, he's too fucking
it is
high.
By the way, the answer is Jason Brown, and he's been CEO since 2016. Get fricked, Tony.
Yeah.
How long has Billy Corgan owned NWA?
And also, who runs New Japan? Hasn't that guy run it for like decades?
No, there's been some switchovers at the top of New Japan.
Mm-hmm. Billy Corgan has owned NWA since 1979.
Yeah, New Japan has some. Thank you.
New Japan just had a changeover at the very top of the promotional
was that what
itself. That's why they made peace with AEW and did Forbidden Door, because before that the other guy wasn't feeling it so much.
Yes. It was this the thing that was around the potential controversy with the Yakuza? Maybe, or
Billy Corgan's own
into like Kota Ibushi lore. I'm not
is that what's happening?
Right now.
Well,
Billy Corgan has owned NWA since 2017.
2017. Okay. All right.
So Tony, just shut up.
I mean,
Tony's gonna Tony. It's the wrestling business. It's the wrestling business.
If Tony's tweeting,
come on,
people get mad.
Unfounded comments based on unfounded facts in professional wrestling. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no,
hey,
nobody does that.
Tony got his trigger finger turned into Twitter fingers. Shut it down, Tony.
I mean,
jeez.
Tony ain't shutting it down for anybody.
Thank you, Jeff Jarrett, for putting wrestling back on the map. Thank you, Stephanie McMahon, for saving women's wrestling. Thank you, Tony Khan, for also saving professional wrestling. And thank you, Vince, for
getting out of the way.
Leaving.
All right, back from the break.
Yes.
You'll never believe this, Riz. Theory's still in the ring.
Oh.
Fortunately, Drew McIntyre comes out. Drew and Theory have a match.
It's a really good match.
It ends.
SmackDown's own Drew McIntyre.
SmackDown's own Drew McIntyre.
Oh, the draft is over. You don't. This fine.
Shit's over. And they have a nice match until the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and
Butch.
Everybody, come on. Butch.
I'm sorry. No, we're not calling them. We're not calling them whatever they're calling themselves. They're called the British Bushwhackers. Keep going.
Say his name. Butch. Anyway, they come out and disqualification. We need some help. Bobby Lashley comes out, and now we have. Then we go to
the Mac
break.
Militant.
And then we come back from the break. Now it's Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus in Theory.
In a
tag team match. Play up.
Boom.
This ends with Dolph Ziggler beaming down from wherever he was to ringside. In one look from Dolph Ziggler, and who can blame him? Theory is paralyzed. Lashley locks on the Hurt Lock. Submission loss for Theory. I believe Austin Theory is on a 6-match losing streak. And if you're like me, you are terrified right now because that cash-in is coming. It is
Matt,
and it is coming hard.
Matt, I was scared until they mentioned that Sunday would be Roman's 700th day as champion. There is no way they are stopping that milestone at 699.
Well, Mike,
there's no way.
Which champion? Which champion, though?
It doesn't matter.
No, because aren't they counting them separately?
No. We're counting them separately because we use logic.
Okay. My thought is he could lose one championship.
No, that was the story.
Keep the other.
That was the story us and the rest of the internet came up with that has never been confirmed ever.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Theory has stated on multiple occasions, and believe me, this is WWE. This could actually, maybe it can't change on the whims of a crazy octogenarian anymore, but Theory has stated on multiple occasions that when he cashes in, he will be the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Yeah. He wants them both. He's going to get them both. It's probably going to happen on Saturday. Prepare yourself. I'm just saying.
Matt, I will have a tie bot bet with you that it doesn't happen.
I don't even want. I feel bad enough. I've spoken this into existence, but I'm telling you, this losing streak. It's in my bones. It's like I can feel absolutely coming right now.
No way.
Coming in fast.
To coin a phrase that no one's using right now, there's no chance in hell that happens.
Oh, there's a tie bot.
Sorg got the tie bot.
All right.
Where's
Sorg
it going
will
to?
bet this by proxy, so I will not have any skin in this game. Okay, so DQ victory for the... No, wait. Lashley and Drew get a submission victory over Theory and Sheamus. That concludes hour 1 of Raw. A full hour of Theory. Riz, too much?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Moving on.
Moving on. Back up. Next order of business is Rey Mysterio's 20th anniversary celebration. He goes down to the ring. This was nice. Usually, if you're like me, you're just waiting for the rug to be pulled out. But no, they just did a nice. Rey Mysterio goes out and just says nice things. It was just nice. And then it was time to get down to business, and the Judgment Day strolled out to the ring. That sun turn is not coming.
That sun turn is coming.
Look, they had him last week, Mike, and they didn't want him, okay? I know you haven't been watching it a couple weeks.
They just kidnapped him tonight.
No. They had him last... Should I go back and recap this again? Should I recap last week?
Well, I didn't watch last week, Matt.
Okay.
I was in Hawaii.
Okay, well, we're going to rewind. Last week on Raw is War.
Or was it?
What
Warzone?
time?
No. It was definitely
those
Raw.
time zones are tricky.
They are tricky. One of the Judgment Days had a match against Rey Mysterio. I think it was Damian Priest. I don't know, but one of them beat Rey Mysterio, clean as a sheet, mind you, in the middle of the ring. And then after the match, Priest and Balor were set up. They were going to do the concerto on Rey, and they were like, we're going to bash Rey's head in unless Dominic Mysterio, apple of our eye, you join the Judgment Day. And Dominic's like, I never joined. And they're like, and he's like, and he gets in and he's like, fine, you win. I'll join the Judgment Day. And then Damian Priest looks at him. He's like, that ain't how it works, kid. And then they beat his ass and they kicked him out of the ring.
Okay, so I have a theory. Not an awesome.
We've had enough theory, okay, Riz?
But I want to point out I don't think Dominic's the one that's turning.
Oh shit!
Because I was looking at the promos and all of the other stuff that was happening during that match, and I noticed Judgment Day's colors are black and like a darker royal purple. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I see where you're going.
Oh,
Rey was wearing black and purple.
And was given tonight.
Given as the gift his 1996 original
Halloween Havoc
outfit,
mm-hmm.
which was purple and black.
And pray tell, what happened in that match?
It's a famous match, and everyone should go back and watch it.
Mm-hmm. You can even play it in WWE 2K22.
Yeah,
that's true. I actually need to go play that now.
I gotta play.
Let's zip up to that point. I will tell you real quickly that the Mysterios did beat the Judgment Day, and then backstage there's a big celebration. Ray's family's there,
including the return of Aaliyah.
The return of Aaliyah. They've got this is so fantastic. They're partying. Okay. Just the family's party, and then Ray and Dominic finally get back to the room, and everyone's like, hey! And then they come in. Someone pops a champagne. Ray's like, no. He brings out the tequila. They start doing the tequila shots. Aaliyah's like, I got a present. She goes back. This is just nice. This is way too positive for WWE. She brings Ray a box. Inside the box is Ray's gear from Halloween Havoc 97.
I'm sorry to spoil that for you.
No, it's okay. It's not a spoiler. It's a review. And everyone, Ray wants to know, where did you find it? Like it was like an Infinity Stone or something.
You'd
And
be
she's
surprised how often
and
that stuff gets misplaced.
Yes.
She's like, it was in the attic with the rest of your crap, Dad. No, it was in the storage unit. I don't know where it was. And then they turn around. Anybody else got any more jokes about
My
this?
favorite part of Raw. My favorite part of Raw.
And then we get to our favorite part of Raw when Dominic gets his ass beat. They turn around. Rhea Ripley has entered the room. Uninvited guest alert. Also her first time back since in weeks, it seems like. Anyway, Aaliyah of all people.
Hold on.
What?
Matt,
What? Okay.
Matt,
all right.
Hold the
You are
on.
missing.
You are
one
missing.
very-
You are missing the point.
You were missing one
What is
very
Rhea
piece of
Ripley
article
wearing?
of clothing.
Oh, what was she wearing? Tell me.
What? She was
Easter
wearing
egg.
the I'm Your Poppy shirt. It is happening, Matt.
Did they tell? Did
It
Ray
is
ask
happening.
her, where'd you get that? Where'd you find that? I haven't seen that in 20 years, you know?
It is happening. It is going to. He's growing out his mullet like Eddie had during that match.
Yo, dude's got
That's
bad guy
true.
mullet for sure.
This is
That's the
this
only.
is going to. Dominic is going to rip his own father's mask off his head. That's what's going to happen, and it's gonna be fucking glorious.
You know what? I just thought about this, and this is a really strong missed opportunity here, where they could have said, "Where did you get the I'm Your Poppy T-shirt?" And Rhea Ripley just goes, "Don't you worry about it." But it was WWEshop.com, and then they like go back to the actual like segment. It would have been very funny. Carry on. Let them
You're
reflect.
breaking that fourth wall.
Rhea Ripley walks into the room, and who of all people decides to get in Rhea Ripley's face? Young Aaliyah Mysterio decides to get in Rhea Ripley's face. So she gets pie-faced by Ripley. Then Ripley grabs Dominic by his stupid mullet and drags him out of the room because it's not Raw until Dominic gets his ass beat. Ray follows them out into the hallway. The Judgment Day awaits. They all beat up on Ray. They drag him down the hall. Damian Priest powerbombs Ray through a table.
Also, side note: Happy birthday to Finn Balor.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's not his anniversary. It's his It's Finn's birthday.
Yes, I love he yelled at as he's dragging him down the hall. I was hoping when they were dragging him by his legs, like they would just like disappeared in the darkness like a horror movie. Sorry, I just
thought
watched
that
Nope the
might
other
be
day.
where- I thought this was an abduction, but it was just a beatdown.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's too bad. We had a little Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair segment. It was fine, not too much talky, a little bit of fighty, and it was good.
Kind of
Becky-
NXT stuffed as well.
Becky pulled Bianca over the top rope with her braid,
Mhm.
Very
which
aggressive with the
was
braid.
wild.
Here we go. Okay, this is the second moment in the show where I was like, "This is Uncle Paul." We go backstage and Sarah Schreiber interviews Alexa Bliss, and she asks her about her match tonight, and then she also asks Alexa about her future plans, and Alexa is basically, whoever wins at SummerSlam between Bianca and Becky, I got next, and my ears perked up, and I was like, Alexa Bliss, who has been spinning aimlessly on Raw for weeks and months on end,
I was gonna say
forever
I was
and
gonna say
eternity,
weeks.
months. I think Uncle Paul showed up and he's like, first order of business, Alexa Bliss is getting pushed. That's
Also,
my theory.
did you notice that Lily actually makes money off the dolls, not Alexa?
That's true. Top seller, number one seller, Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we go back because we haven't gotten enough of this. We go to the trainer's room so that the Judgment Day can, yes, beat up Rey Mysterio one more time. This time
that
Rhea
has
Ripley
been his-
came in. Big boot. I
That
love
has
it.
been his legacy in WCW
Getting his ass
and,
kicked, yeah.
and WWE.
Like the biggest thing he's known for in WCW is getting lawn darted into the side of a fucking trailer by Kevin Nash.
That, and then you have Big Show when Rey Mysterio was tied to a stretcher, slamming him into the ring post, and then you have Great Khali squishing his head, and then you got the Batista angle.
Yep.
You're supposed you're
supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be
my
my friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Poor Ray, but he
20
deserves
years
it.
of getting his butt kicked. 20 plus years, actually. Some revisionist history.
That's true.
Let's see here. Alexa Bliss beat Doudrop via pinfall. Nothing to see here. AJ Styles and Logan Paul share a tender moment backstage. Apparently, AJ is cool with them. He's seen enough, so they're going to be buddies. All right, now we go to our talkie segment with Logan Paul. This, not so much, for me at least. Maurice came out. She had a purse that looked like a pair of coconuts. And, it's all tiny balls jokes at this point. I mean, we got this thing established. We might as well keep doing it. This is going to be the last legacy of Vince in creative. It's going to be tiny balls jokes about The Miz.
I mean, they have to be making money on those shirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
oh yeah, I would assume.
I mean, who wouldn't want to be sporting the great "My Balls Are Massive" T-shirt?
I want to buy one for Beastman.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. On WWE Shop, the Lily doll. There's a tag saying "almost gone."
Oh.
So they're almost done selling them, which means we may stop seeing Lily on camera.
They sold out, and then someone's going to destroy Lily. Oh, man.
Uh-huh.
They've tried that before, and Lily has come back.
Which explains why the giant Lily doll, the 3D image of the Lily doll, just looks exhausted. Like if you're looking at it, if you're looking at the image, it's just her, just like over and over again. I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Hey, it's kind of like drooping over, and then it's like, oh no, I'm good. Oh no, I'm good. We're over here. Anyway, yeah, this segment not so much.
Maurice was good. Maurice was good.
Was she? I mean,
I like
Maurice.
Maurice.
I like Maurice. It doesn't mean I thought she was good in this segment. I think The Miz is really the only one who did anything productive in this segment. And Ciampa, who really wasn't asked to do too much anyways, besides just get physical. Anyway, The Miz ends up hitting a skull-crushing finale on Logan Paul. The crowd chants one more time. I don't think that's what they were going for, but we'll see where it goes. Babyface Logan Paul is just a...
I don't understand why this isn't a tag team match.
So good.
I don't understand why it's not a tag team match to at least attach him to some kind of face.
Yeah.
I
don't know why, but they're going to try this thing. So
Johnny
we'll
Gargano.
I'm sorry.
No.
No. Don't get yourself all worked up. Don't set yourself up for disappointment, Riz.
Come on.
Jeff Jarrett showed up on this episode of Raw. I'm just mentioning that to point out that Jeff Jarrett always wins. That's all you need to know.
My world.
I don't know. That man's gonna end up killing Ric Flair, so I don't know if that's gonna be a positive.
But not until the day after SummerSlam, so it will not interfere with Saturday's match. Styles and Ziggler beat the Alpha Academy. It was fine. I love the Alpha Academy, and I need more of it. I didn't get all of Gable's catchphrases tonight, and I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't get "look at that face" and my number one guy tonight. I really wanted. I didn't feel like I got.
He did say that
at the beginning.
Not at the beginning, but during the match, he said, "Look at that face."
Look at that face. My number one guy. Yeah.
But, and I mentioned this on Twitter. I just want 60 minutes with Dolph Ziggler versus Chad Gable. Just an hour.
You like that little opening exchange where they went like full Matt Russell on each other?
That's it. That's all I want. Time out. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Otis as well, but just having that one-on-one match would be pretty damn cool.
Dolph is definitely the most secret amateur wrestler on the entire WWE roster, perhaps in all of WWE history. They never talk about it. Well, they sometimes talk about it, but it's like, just never reflected in his character. And then all of a sudden he's out there with whoever other amateur wrestler guy they have, and they decide they're going to do a quick 30 seconds. And that brings us to the main event. It is Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Riddle and the Street Profits. It took up like the whole last half hour of the show, but you know what? It's fine. It was a high quality house show main event with the added perk of us actually getting to see Roman Reigns wrestle for a rare instance. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you're approaching this thing from, Reigns pins Riddle to get the win. And then after the match, because, beating up Riddle and beating up Rey Mysterio or Dominic Mysterio is like the theme of Raw, Seth Rollins comes out to beat up Riddle some more. and that's how we go off the air. We were so close to a Seth Rollins. We were so close to a freaking free show, but we didn't get there. He snuck in just at the finish line, and that was Raw.
That's it. The vibe.
Yeah. It was a show. So where did Uncle Paul make a difference? I singled out 2 moments. Does anyone feel like there are other points during the show where Uncle Paul was making a difference?
I think Drew McIntyre just being on there is and also no 24/7 title.
Oh, interesting.
We'll see how long they can hold that down.
The other thing to consider is this is also Madison Square Garden, so there's going to be an air of specialness, hopefully, to this show in general, and that may have also
which I'm surprised no Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Tina mentioned that earlier in the chat. I wonder if that's due to the somewhat problematic reaction Brock had to the news on Friday.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, Brock was never promoted for this show, so it's hard to say. But
I mean, it is the go home show.
Well, SmackDown's the go home too, if you want to get real percolated about it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be quote unquote Raw's quote unquote, I guess quote unquote, it's Raw's go home show. Like SmackDown's still gonna have their SmackDown show.
And SmackDown is stacked, so I don't even know if they have room for Brock Lesnar on that show.
Oh, Brock's going to find a way.
I mean, you always got 30 seconds for Brock to come out and kill some dudes.
Worth the money.
They added the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day in a no disqualification tag match to SummerSlam. So,
Here it comes.
But Mad Mike, if they turn Dominic, when's Edge supposed to come back? Isn't this
who the fuck cares?
Isn't this set up for Edge to come back?
Matt, let me ask you a question. Do you know your tag team title history? Just
Mike, let's just
I'm
for
the general question.
Of this discussion, let's just assume I know everything.
Edge and Rey Mysterio are former tag team champions.
I know they are.
That's the setup.
What?
No, Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Guerrero and Finn Balor with Damian as the heavy. That's all you need. Hell.
Are you gonna turn Dominic and bring back Edge in the same match at SummerSlam? I just think
no. You bring back Edge the night after.
Okay.
The night after, because that video where he's painting in red Kool-Aid said "I'm coming too" and didn't say where. And on SummerSlam, it's probably gonna say Raw. Either that or just a big R, and it'll be rated R.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying, Dominic basically said, "I'll join" last week, and they're like, "Nope." So I'm just saying.
You just don't think it's
a
going
because that's not who they want.
No. Well, on that note, and thank you everybody for coming on the show, and thank you, Dave Podner.
Thanks, Sorg. By the way, real quick.
Yes.
I'm also interested for tomorrow night.
Yes.
For NXT, since when Paul left NXT is when we got Neon Spray Paint NXT 2.0, and we got NXT is going to be just like Vince likes it. Well,
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm really curious.
Women's division.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for women's division.
And say we had Paul and Curtis in here last week, and they're watching NXT, and they're like these. And I am talking to somebody else over the weekend that's familiar with people that are down in NXT, and they said they are literally putting people on TV that are not ready to be in a wrestling ring on TV. Yeah. And like we were all watching it, and it's just been so bad. So I'm hopefully.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be controversial though. Mandy Rose had a really good title.
Oh sure, I hear it's been great. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like honestly, her matches are the best matches that she can have, and they're a lot of fun. Like she plays her part very well. She's probably, and all apologies to Tyson Kidd, probably the best person to return to NXT after being on the main roster. Like I said,
everyone just
controversial.
Everyone needs to remember Wenhead. It's hilarious.
Everyone needs to think on it. Dolph wasn't there long enough for me to count it.
He was world champion.
Yeah, he was there for a month.
Yeah, he wasn't
Samoa
the world
Joe.
champion, Riz. He was the Coconut Loop champion of NXT. That's where he was down
Yeah,
there.
and Joe was there even less time than Dolph was. That's what
We're
I'm
about
saying.
to have a
like,
whole other podcast here at this point. Well,
yeah.
guys,
But I'm gonna say that as
I-
a controversial statement. I realize.
I'm with you. I'm
Please,
with you.
At me on at MadMike4883. Let me know who else you think.
So,
I think it's hard to argue.
I thank you everybody to come on, be here. I just want to make sure that everybody knows, everybody that was here, hanging out. Thank you everybody. There's the crew right there. Mainstream
We should have
Matt,
been like this the whole time.
Mad
This was
Mike.
so good.
Bo fucking Diggity, The Riz, and Dave Podner, all just sitting there in a row this whole show. Actually, they're in the same room. I'm just over here. I like that Matt's thing. Like the posters stayed, but everything else left in the background.
Sorry.
So
I'll work on the key wall, Sorg. I'm sorry.
that's right. No, it's kind of looks pretty cool actually. So, anyways, thank you everybody, and thank you our Patreon supporters. We'll be tomorrow. We may have a guest. I think they're coming in. So either way, I'm sure we'll talk more about Vince news because I'm sure the news is going to keep rolling between today and tomorrow, and we'll see what else we want to talk about for the week. Matt, you're going to have to come on so I can talk about some New Japan. So yeah.
Why not? It's always a good time
Sure.
to talk about New Japan.
Oh yeah.
The G1 Climax is underway.
I'm catching
and,
up. I was skipping tag matches, but I was watching today and saw Filthy Tom Lawler and some dude against Jonah what's the new guy? Tough
Bad
Tony.
Dude Tito?
Bad Dude Tito is my new favorite rando gaijin in New Japan. So
classic New Japan SoCal Gaijin discovery.
that's
Bad
right.
Dude Tito.
Bad Dude
And,
Tito.
yeah.
Thank you,
Pretty
everybody,
amazing.
for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out. Stay tuned for Silk Stockings. Where's my outro? There it is. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.